Hello, good morning. Today I am teaching to you in class 8 Science, chapter 2nd, which is Microorganisms, friend and foe. In this chapter, today I will teach you the last topic, and the name of the topic is nitrogen fixation. This topic means nitrogen. Nitrogen, all of you know what is nitrogen. It is a gas, is present in our atmosphere in abundant and fixation. Fix, as the name suggests, fix means something we want to fix or to clear in a definite way that what amount or quantity we require or we want in our use or in a process. So here fixation means we can understood that and can understand in such a way that fixation is something we consider or we can do it in a definite way. All of you know that in our environment there is 78% nitrogen gas available. 78% nitrogen gas available, but a lot of presence of this nitrogen gas, the plants cannot use this atmospheric nitrogen. This nitrogen is called in such that it is a free nitrogen gas or molecule, and the free nitrogen gas cannot be utilized by the plants directly. So there is need to convert this free nitrogen gas into their corresponding compounds of nitrogen which is likely call it nitrate compound, And when this free nitrogen is converted, free nitrogen is converted by action of some mechanism into the corresponding nitrate compound, or we can also say that nitrogen containing compound this nitrogen containing compound plants usually can intake for their natural growth. What is the importance of this nitrogen gas or a nitrogen molecule? Plants need some type of proteins, minerals, plants need to grow some type of proteins and minerals, etc. And these proteins and minerals they contain nitrogen content or nitrogen molecule in these compounds, and there is necessary to grow the plants these some nutritious in their growth or their elongation, etc. So while they use these minerals or proteins, they also absorb nitrogen. That's why this nitrogen is an essential element for the growth of plants and as well as animals. Animals also cannot take the atmospheric nitrogen gas directly as like plants. So the nitrogen gas first is to be converted into nitrogen compounds, and This way the nitrogen can be absorbed by the root of the plants. To convert the nitrogen gas, atmospheric nitrogen gas into their corresponding nitrogen containing compounds, here conversion process takes place. How this atmospheric nitrogen, which is present 78% in our atmosphere, is converted into the corresponding nitrogen containing compounds. It happens there is in some way. Let us study what are these process by which we can convert the atmospheric nitrogen into the nitrogen containing compounds. The conversion of atmospheric nitrogen it can be done by certain nitrogen fixing bacteria. Some of the bacteria present in the soil which may fix the atmospheric nitrogen, and this atmospheric nitrogen converts into the nitrogen containing compound and goes into the soil directly. It can be done by certain nitrogen fixing bacteria present in the soil, and also by a bacteria that is called Rhizobium Bacteria, which is present only leguminous plants. Rhizobium Bacteria present in the root nodules of leguminous plants, and another is it can also be done by some blue-green algae and by lightning. What is lightning? Lightning occurs during the thunderstorm, and it happens, it is a phenomenon, it happens in the sky And we can also convert the atmospheric nitrogen into the corresponding nitrogen compounds by using some artificial methods. These methods are performed in the industries. We will learn about this method in your higher classes. Before we talk in detail about this process, first of all, here we write down the definition of nitrogen fixation. How can we define what is nitrogen fixation? Means the fixing of nitrogen. Which nitrogen? Atmospheric nitrogen into the compounds of nitrogen is called nitrogen fixation. So we can write as the process of converting or fixing nitrogen gas of atmosphere into compounds of nitrogen is called nitrogen fixation. The process of converting nitrogen, atmospheric nitrogen gas, into the compounds of nitrogen is called nitrogen fixation. Now let us try to understand how this process takes place by some bacteria. One of the bacteria, that is called Rhizobium bacteria, they live in the root nodules of leguminous plants. Leguminous plants are like pea plant, bean plant, they have in their roots some of the nodules like this, and in the root node, this is called nodule. These nodules are mainly found in pea, beans like plants, leguminous plants, and Rhizobium bacteria is present in the root nodules of these plants. The Rhizobium bacteria have symbiotic relationship already we know that what is symbiotic nutrition. Means Rhizobium bacteria perform symbiotic nutrition. Symbiotic nutrition means to perform the nutrition process, Rhizobium bacteria is depend on the plant, and plant also to perform their nutrition process is depend on the action of Rhizobium bacteria. Means plant and this bacteria both are depend to each other for getting their nutrition process. This type of nutrition is called symbiotic nutrition. Both the plant as well as bacteria, they depend on each other to perform their nutrition process. This type of nutrition is called symbiotic nutrition. Some other also nitrogen fixing bacteria, they live freely in the soil, but the Rhizobium bacteria is live in the root nodules of the leguminous plants, and this bacteria helps to fix the atmospheric nitrogen into the soil. Lightning also the lightning is also responsible for the fixing of atmospheric nitrogen gas into the nitrogen containing compound. How? It gets fixed the atmospheric nitrogen let us know how it is performed. When lightning takes place in the sky during the thunderstorm, a high temperature is produced. During the thunderstorm, a high temperature, all of you know, a high temperature is produced, and at this high temperature, the atmospheric nitrogen combines with the oxygen. This atmospheric nitrogen gas, it is combined with the oxygen gas, because oxygen is also present in the atmosphere. It combines with the oxygen gas and it forms nitrogen compound. Means, how can we understand this? When lightning takes place, a high temperature is produced. A high temperature is produced during this high temperature. The atmospheric nitrogen is combined with the atmospheric oxygen and it forms nitrogen compound. For example, here we take nitrogen gas and oxygen gas. What is the reaction? It forms nitrogen containing compound it may be NO2. It depends upon the fixing of or balancing the equation. For example, here is write 2NO2. Nitrogen compound. It will also form in nitrate form like NO3 negative. This is called nitrate ion. It combined with the water, it forms HNO3. It is called nitric acid. So during the lightning process, a high temperature is produced, and at this high temperature, atmospheric nitrogen combined with the atmospheric oxygen, they form nitrogen compound. And this nitrogen compound comes to the soil with the rainwater, and in this way the nitrogen is easily goes into the soil and plants gets the nitrogen from the soil with the help of their roots. Another topic is how this atmospheric nitrogen is circulated in the our atmosphere. And the circulation of atmospheric nitrogen into the atmosphere, it is called nitrogen cycle.